Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the KV-85. It's a Tier 6 Soviet heavy tank. It's located on the northeast spawn of Live Oaks, and this one is under the command of Wazwulf of QU1NN. Now, the KV-85 is a rather unusual tank because although it appears in the game as the 85mm version, you can actually use the 100mm gun or the 122. And in fact, actually, if it's got the 100mm gun, it should be the KV-100. If it's got the 122, it should be the KV-122, but that's already in the game as a premium tank. Now, in this game, we can see that Wazwulf has actually chosen to use the 100mm gun, which has got 250 alpha and penetrates 170mm with standard ammo, with the premium rounds 210, and with the HE rounds, he's capable of 330 alpha and 50mm of pen. As you can see, it's a iteration of the KV line, which started with the KV, then became the KV-1, then it became the KV-100 actually, because they actually fitted a 100mm gun on before they fitted the 85mm, but they were just gradually moving through the line, fitting in different armaments and changing things like the turret. This turret is very much like the KV-1S version, which actually came directly after the KV-1, I should say. That's the sporty version, but it still had a 76mm gun instead of the 85mm. And of course, the 85mm had much more chance of penetrating the German tanks, so they decided that, yes, they'd fit an 85mm onto the vehicle. Oh, blocking the way of the Skoda T27 there. Super Hellcat coming to view. No, he's actually on the outside of the buildings that we're looking at there. So he's pulled across now. There is an enemy tank behind him, a Caro P88, but you can't see him. But you can see that guy, and that is a Super Hellcat, and he just ram-killed our Bert. So we're going to take him out instead. Right, nice revenge shot there. And he did it with auto-aim as well, didn't even have to look, but he keeps this 3D perspective, which is actually very good. You need to know what's going on behind you and alongside you. Nice shot, the Caro. Low roll, 230. Did get spotted, obviously. Now, you ought to be careful here, because if he goes past the next building up ahead, then he will be spotted by the enemy if they're looking. Not the ones ahead of him, but the ones actually that haven't come into the town yet. Now, he's not going to side scrape out even more, not push out even more, because if he does, he might get around in the tracks. There are 3 enemy tanks ahead of him, a T20, a KV-1S, and a Caro P88. Now, as I said, the KV-1S was a derivation of the KV-1, made to make it slightly lighter and able to keep up with the T-34s that were actually the dominant tank. Hello, Mr. T20. Oh, no, he didn't get that one on. He could have fired straight through the fence, but he didn't. He wanted to get it on target. And now he's worried about that Hellcat off to his right. Goes to sniper view for that, but you're not going to get a view. Just keep your rescue on target and pull back, because this... There he is. Okay. So he did get a pen in there with a 100mm gun. It's actually quite a fast reload. The standard reload for the 100mm is 7.29 seconds. You can see he's got 6.03. So he's actually shaved about a second and a bit off. Somebody's telling him to pull back. It's the Scorpion G. I think the Scorpion G wants to engage some of these enemy tanks. There's this... Oh! Get the Hellcat. Get the gun down. Well, the kill shot actually goes to the Skoda T27, but he did take a round from this T20 who poked around the corner. And this is what I was worried about. Yeah, he poked around the corner and there was enemy tanks that weren't in the town technically, and they managed to get a shot on him, and the T20 did the same again, but this time round the T20 does go out, and now he can use the T20 as armor to shoot the T103, but the T103 gone around the corner again, but yes, he gets him a shot in the rear. Now we're going for the P88 with our teammate in the Skoda T27. Lovely shot there. The 27 was holding him in place, and he just drove around the outside and blasted him in the turret. That means there's only one enemy in the town now, the KV-1S. Now we're one up on the enemy. Out of town there's an AMX 1357. We're not looking in that direction. Oh, we did get spotted. Somebody outside town can see him. In fact, now it's attracting the Arty's attention. The Arty on the enemy team's an M44. They've only got one there. Okay, Skoda's backing into this area. You can see he took a heat round through the turret. We're changing direction. We're actually going to go along here because there's a Challenger coming up from the riverbed. Now, he's not... I don't think he moved around here for that purpose, but it turns out he made the right decision. The Scorpion and the Skoda can deal with KV-1S. In the meantime, we're going to take care of the Challenger. Now, he's worried about that AMX 1357. They've taken care of the KV-1S, which means that they'll be free to come and help us. Wazwulf just needs a bit of support. Where is that AMX 1357? There's an OHO to his left. Now, that's why he doesn't want to go down into the lake area right now to deal with the Challenger, because if he does, he'll have to deal with the OHO at the same time. Okay, his teammates are aware of the situation now. And he's poking between the buildings. Yeah, they're aware of the OHO, I think, more than anything. Yeah, he's just worried where that AMX 1357 is going to pop up. Okay, now he's got shots. T69 gets his first shot in, gets a high roll. The guy goes down. Now he can see the AMX 1357 a long way away. Can he get the kill shot? Yes! Oh no, he didn't get the kill shot. It went to the Scorpion. No, it's the Skoda T27. But now we've got a Giro coming up. There's the Giro. He can't see us because there's a bush in the way. Now he'll be able to spot us. And we have been seen. In fact, we've been seen by the Challenger, who actually retreated back to the hill. And there he is. We pump one in, but he takes us out. Yes, unfortunately, we were down fairly low on hit points. And he did get us. But at least Wazwulf managed to get a couple of kills. Okay, so we've moved to the next available tank, which is a T21. He's headed south along the railway line with a Strip 74. Yeah, Wazwulf did very well there. He got 4 kills in that game. But again, it was the Challenger that took him out. I think I can see why he was cautious about poking out, because he just had so little on the way of hit points left. Okay, these guys are probably going to deal with the enemy Arty. Both tank destroyers are actually up in the north at the moment, so... And you can see the enemy Arty's focusing near our cap area. The T21's very low on hit points. He can be taken out with 1 splash kill. And they're skirting the edge of the map at the moment. Enemy Arty still pumping the rounds out. So he's probably in reload at this moment. If he's not down here at the end, then he must be in the dip. Okay, he looks like he's in the dip, and that's where we're headed. Strip's coming with us. Now, he might be loaded by the time we get there. There he is. Okay, we've auto-aimed on. Is he turning to face us? Well, there's 1 shot in. That looked like it was an HE round, actually. And he fluffed the shot. Didn't wait until they were moving towards him. And so he's out. And that's it. The game's over. Here's the end of battle results. And that was an ace tanker game for Wazwulf in the KV-85. It's not the first ace tanker he's had. He's had them before in the KV-85. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. Fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He did get 4 exactly. Duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. And he got a Fifer effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. As well as a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this one. He got 5 exactly. His win rate was 6,380, which is Super Unicum standard and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. The high caliber went to the Scorpion G, who got 4,295 hit points. Second highest was the G2SP, managed to get 2,076 hit points, and he got a Confederate. And in third place, just beneath him, was Wazwulf with 2,067 hit points of damage. The highest score on the enemy team was that was their T103, and of course that's because he's got a very big gun which could do a lot of damage fairly quickly. But he was taken out of the game, and in fact, actually, if I remember correctly, it was Wazwulf that got the kill on him. Yes, there you go. So he was taken out by Wazwulf. He was their best player, and he just below 2,000 hit points you can see in total. When it came to kills, it was shared between Scorpion G and Wazwulf. They both got 4 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the Skoda T27, the Panther M10, and on the enemy team, 3 tanks managed to get 2 kills, the T69, their T20, and their Challenger. And when it came to base XP, he's in second place because the Scorpion managed 1,267, and we can see that Wazwulf got 1,212, and they were the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000 base in that game. Whereas the Scorpion was tier 8 and Wazwulf tier 6, remember. So, of course, he was getting extra XP because he took out the T103. Well, he was taking out higher tier opponents, and that's why he was getting extra. Anyway, if we look at detail, he fired 15 rounds, got 10 direct hits, 10 penetrations, 2,067 hit points, most of it at close range, but he did do 488 hit points at long range, received 5 hits from the enemy, 5 penetrations, 2 of those came from that T20. He was sneaking round the corner every now and then to pump one round in, and unfortunately he poked his head round the corner one day and the T103 was there and pumped one into him as well. That was very unfortunate. That was why I was worried about, actually, because he was going to poke at a point when he shouldn't poke, because there was going to be somebody else there from outside town who was actually more powerful than he was. He did receive 2 hits by way of splash damage as well during the game, and spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 4, did 1,642 hit points of spotting assist. On a premium count, he earned 90,057 credits during that game. He got a 50,000 mission completion bonus, but it was mainly down to the fact that he didn't use premium ammo. He was actually making do with the 100mm rounds, and it was being quite effective actually as well. 100mm rounds has got much more penetration than the 85mm rounds, and so yes, not quite as long to reload as the 122mm either. The 122 can take us 19 seconds to reload. Although it does have a very big alpha, 390, that 19 seconds means you can get hit by a lot of tier 6 tanks repeatedly whilst you're still reloading. With the 100mm, it's a little easier because you've got a slightly faster reload, not quite as long, only 7 seconds, but of course you can reduce that. And that means that if the enemy does try to poke around the corner and take another poke at you, then they might find that you're reloaded by the time they do, and that they actually suffer instead. So when it came to XP, 3,636 on a ×2 day. So a nice little battle there by Wazwulf with a tank which you can have a selection of weaponry, a selection of guns. As I said, the only real big problem is it's calling them all the KV-85, because truly, the only one that was the KV-85 was the one with the 85mm gun. If it did have the 100mm, which is what he was using, it should be the KV-100. But there's no KV-100 in the game, and Wargaming have seen that they're not going to fit it in, which is a pity, really, because it is one of the stages on the evolution of the KV line of tanks. And they do have a KV-122 in the game, but of course that is a premium tank, not the standard tank. Whereas in the game, you can have a KV-85 with a 122mm gun, which is not a premium. So you can either opt to have the premium one, which obviously is probably better actually in the long run, because then at least you're going to get the boost to your credits, boost to your training, your XP. But you can have it with a standard KV-85, but it's probably better, as Wazwulf did there, to use the 100mm gun, because you've got much more power, much more poke on the enemy, and it makes it much more an even game between you and if you happen to be facing higher tier opponents. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, and leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.